Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
Good evening and welcome to an aha moment, the calm before the storm. Your host, Minister A.H.A.D, and with me have Lord Holy Apostle Dean Saline, Holy Queen Mother Rabbit Saline, and our brother and partner, Brother Fakil, who's here, not necessarily at this moment, but we wish Ahezaah's peace and other blessings by everybody's present that is here in this audience. Praise Ahezaah, man. You know, like one thing the message always said, sometimes we start our shows, is that we have little discussions before we get into the show, you know, have you thinking of some food for thought. One of the things we were discussing earlier was about having Ahezaah at the head of your community. And many times, looking back, you know, in life and part of religion, you know, people always think, the community always think about the world on the outer sense. But Ahezaah's drawing us into the incense, drawing us in sense to the point that the community that it's supposed to be the head of is the community within the world within you, the individual, yourself. Ahezaah explained to us that the word individual means inwardly divided. And we are inwardly divided with many people vying for the throne. Ahezaah should only sit alone on that throne, that seat of power. So people need to think about that as we have this discussion. So food for thought, and audience that out of here, you know, if you got questions or comments, you know, feel free to throw them in there. But Holy Father, Holy Queen, you know, definitely think Ahezaah being the head.
Yeah, well, you know, I had the show last week, which I wasn't here. We spoke about that. So some of you in the audience who, you know, remember what the show was last week. If our brother had put them out there in the right order, we talked about Allah being the guide, Ahezaah being the guide. You know, and many Muslims say, you know, that thou art the guide, but they don't look at Ahezaah as being the leader.
Right.
That's why it's so important to break your language down to the barest minimum, you know. And one of the faults we have as religionists, people of religion, is that in every religion, the holy language that people turn to and worship is generally some language that's of the ancient or something that's foreign to them.
Right.
You know what I mean? When in truth, the divine language, the holy language, is a language of understanding, mystical understanding, understanding of the unseen. You know, and if we recognize God being a leader, and we recognize leader as something that's there guiding you, then we have to recognize Ahezaah as El Noon. That which is to be recognized as the source of all things, as the guide, the reality of the guide, even though it's unseen. Now, although it's unseen, it's just picture yourself in a dark room talking to somebody you know. Just because the lights is out and it's pitch black, don't make you unfamiliar. You're not going to say, well, I'm talking to myself because I can't see you. Or I'm not going to talk to you, man, until I can see you. I need some light. You need light so your ears will work? Or your mind will work? No. What Ahezaah, think in terms of that. It being in the darkest space that is. Unseen by everything, but it's there. So we say those of us who have complete faith, those of us who believe truly in the right manner, we say, oh, Ahezaah, give us guidance, please. Help us. And we talking to it. Because we believe it's there. If you don't try it, you'll never know. But we have to have faith. We have to fight for faith. We have to fight ourselves for faith. You know?
You posed a question, you know, I take it back years, being in the company. And you always gave me this food for thought, Worship like Ahezaah, though it is present there.
Right.
That you always seen it. And the crazy in my mind, being, so, sometimes you deceive yourself. You believe that it's present, but you always think you can always go away and do things not be seen. And people, many times, with religion, and starting to understand by the grace of Ahezaah now that I have to question myself every moment now as I'm working or doing things, will it be pleasing to Ahezaah? Or now it's more like that's the thought process is it bringing me into now. Recognize that I know you are there. And I'm mindful. I have to be mindful, bless me to remember you, that I'm always seen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a process when you start fighting for your faith. That's what I thought about as you on the path. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, you got to talk to Ahezaah.
Yeah.
Not at Ahezaah.
Right, yeah.
And most people talk at it or at the thought of it.
Right.
And some people, when they go and they submit to make their prayers, they don't truly pray because they don't believe in what they're praying to. They think it might be true. They're not fully trusting it.
Right.
They hear the words, they say, well, I need a sign. Or I need a greater sign. But Ahezaah has taught us that we need to have blind faith first, because it's not going to show us the prize at the beginning of the journey. You might be told about the prize. It might be left to your imagination, but you're not going to be shown the prize. And I've watched many Muslims and Christians throughout my life, man. And so many times, man, like you look up at the universe and it look like it's just doing the same thing all the time. And that's the way the people look, like they doing the same thing all the time. But they don't see themselves crashing. They don't see themselves burning out. They don't see short lifespans or long lifespans of themselves. They got hope about themselves and belief about themselves and trust about themselves, which is generally on the false side.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The side of illusions.
Yeah.
Now Ahezaah has come to me and brought light into my life 30 years ago. Enlightened me and said, this is the way things are going to be. And I run out to the community of my world and I tell everybody, this is what Ahezaah said, and that's what Ahezaah said, this, that, and the other. And people look at me and say, I don't believe him because he grew up where I grew up at. I don't believe him because he's a black man. I don't believe him because he's not educated. He don't have the degrees I have. I don't believe him because he comes from this family or that family. For whatever reason they want to put up as a disbelief for their own fears.
Right.
Because it ain't nothing but their own fears that they will hear me and then find anger and then not submit. Want to go to war with me against truth.
Yes.
I think that's partly true. I think one of the things I'm discovering as I go on in life is that a lot of people really just don't believe. And when clear evidence comes to them, they become angry because they don't want to believe.
Well, let me before you go on, because you said you think that's partly true. That disbelief starts by fear first. The fear started somewhere else, which made them take the position of disbelief. Because they defending their own belief.
For some odd reason, it's a strange happening with human beings. You have the people that, how can I say, take on so-called religious practice to the letter. But that's all it is. It's a practice. You know what I'm saying? They never take it to the next level. You know, they're given instructions and they follow the instruction to the letter.
The problem with that is that the letter that they take it to is their own contract,
Right.
their own letter,
Yeah.
their own understanding. And then they try to put that out there verbatim by their own experience.
Right.
So therefore they only limited to what they know.
Yeah.
Because again, afraid of the unknown.
Yeah.
You know what's going on?
Afraid and don't even take up time to even explore. You know, sometimes I drive around on Sundays and you see people go into church blank and you see them come out blank. You know, there's nothing,
Right.
there's this, how can I say, habits.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, habits. And one thing I recognize for myself by Ahezaah will is that you have to find out how to live life. You understand what I'm saying? You can have people giving you all of the directions in the world, but you have to ask Ahezaah, like you were saying, you ask Ahezaah, is this pleasing to you? You know, 99.9% of the time people don't ask Ahezaah that because they're really not looking for that.
Right.
So they don't live life.
Right.
They just, how can I say it? They just become a part of this world, whatever part it is, and then they get so comfortable in the way they structure their lives that nothing fazes them. The moon could be falling down and nothing fazes them. The economy falling down by Ahezaah wills, plagues and swamp, nothing fazes them. Nothing makes nothing, it's like they numb.
Okay, let me put that in another sense. You said they don't live life, but I could say that that's all they do
Oh, okay.
is live life.
Just exist.
They don't just exist. They don't.
Yeah,
they
so
don't.
they're trying- yeah.
They don't think. But see, it goes back to the same thing. Man has forgotten
Yeah.
that Ahezaah, the Lord El, the Creator, is the leader of their community,
Yeah.
and each individual is a community within themselves, and they forget that it is the leader. If you remember that Ahezaah is the leader all the time, then you will go to the leader, or you will follow the leader in whatever it is you're doing. If you follow the leader, and Ahezaah is that leader, and it is the perfect guy, the perfect leader. You can't go wrong. Why do you think I'm so confident with people? People come like, yeah, I'm gonna crack that nigga's head, man. I'm gonna bust his brain. I'm gonna put him in the hospital. I'm gonna do this, that, and the other. And I sit back so calm. So cool.
Yeah.
Unless Ahezaah want me to show them a sign of craziness. It's okay, I got a doctor on this fool. Nigga, you ain't gonna do nothing to me! Bring it!
I thought he was the pilot.
I am, because I'm giving you some medicine now.
But this person looking at you, now they have to disbelieve. Actually, they want to disbelieve anyway.
Yeah.
That action is showing. Oh, see, I knew he wasn't what he say he is.
Well, some of them be like, I think he is what he say he is. Cause,
Okay.
you know, I came up here with all my gorillas, and this nigga it didn't jump bad at us. He didn't jump in the cage.
And closed it.
And we done ran out of it. But the thing about it is that because I follow the leader, I'm not worried about nothing because I don't have to examine the trail. I know the leader gonna take me up the right road. I'm just in there doing my business. Not concerned. Now, if you ain't following the leader, you trying to go somewhere, how you gonna drive and take care of business at the same time? That's what people was trying to do. They're trying to guide their life, and they're trying to take care of business at the same time. They're trying to be the driver and the passenger at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't do that.
You're right. Now, I know on the path of this way, Ahezaah show me now, like we were saying on the apostle, that when you walk in this path, you know, and like I said, my fool's mind, it said, don't count the steps. Just keep walking. And I'm going to show you many wonders. And my reality that I am the real of everything of this. You know. And so now I ask my Lord to start to count the steps. Walk in the blind faith now. What
Yeah,
you're
well,
speaking
that's
about,
good. And
you
I know that it's come through hardship.
Come through, that's right. It's come through hard.
Yeah.
You know, so praise be for that. You give so much lessons, you know. And
Yeah,
people
but
religion,
you know, go ahead.
but people of religion, you know, one thing I need to show me also is that people of religion, why it fail for many people, because what Holy Queen was saying, they go into the houses of worship and don't take in anything that can relate to them to utilize as they daily walk with the Lord. And they all say, I walk with the Lord, I talk with the Lord, but you have to question because proof is in the action.
Well, you know, I don't blame them for going in and coming out basically the same. It's good that they go in and come out the same.
Okay. No, okay.
So you think about it.
Yeah.
They going into the dungeon of hell, man. They don't recognize that falsehood is
Right.
opening to Satan's world.
Yeah, okay.
I don't care what they call it.
Right.
They,
Okay.
you know, I mean, Prophet Muhammad, Allah said through Prophet Muhammad, and all praise is due to Allah. Allah said through Prophet Muhammad that in this day and time, this day, the great day of revelation, the great day of judgment that Prophet Muhammad spoke about, that same day that billions of Muslims are trying to convince you is not here today. Those Muslims who have gone astray, those Muslims whom Allah was talking about, and might I say, Ahezaah, in the name of Allah, was talking about. That there will come a time when you would not be able to trust your brothers and sisters on the path of the way of Muhammad.
Yeah.
You will not be able to go into their homes and their places of business and eat their food.
Yeah.
Prophet Muhammad said that, or Allah said that through Prophet Muhammad over 1,500 years ago.
Yeah.
And I look out at the people, and Allah and Ahezaah, and Allah in the name of Ahezaah and in the name of Allah said to me, separate yourself from them. They are not, you are not of them.
Yeah.
You are not of them. And tell your people to call themselves A.H.A.D believers. In other words, Assembly of Holy Apostle Dean believers. Believing in the congregation of Ahezaah in this assembly. And anybody who want to be of the righteous way must come unto this way. And those who turn away from this way, they are the disbelievers today. Now you got Muslims who want to say, Astaghfirullah, who the hell do you think you are? You can't change that. I'm Muslim. I've had somebody say to me years ago, you mean to tell me we gotta be with you? And we gotta listen to Allah under you? Why can't we go and still be Muslim and be out there and call Allah's name and so forth and so on and so forth and so on? Because the message comes through me now.
Right.
Ahezaah sent down his message through me. I'm his voice piece today.
Right.
Little old me. Little old black African American, Indian Native American me. And for you Native Americans, look up your prophecy, and it said that that man would be mixed with Native American and African blood. Yeah. If you don't listen to me, you are a disbeliever. Huh? If we're in a car and I say, and I'm the man in charge, and I say to my driver, right turn, Earl. And we turn right, and you following us, but you still going straight. The hell with that. I'm staying on this straight path. Well, the leader has said right turn. If you ain't made that right turn, then you are lost from the path. Now, Allah in the name of Ahezaah has made a turn for mankind today. And if you don't want to follow the leader, then you off the path. I don't care what you want to say. I tell you what, you can debate with yourself until you get to the throne in the world of the unseen. And try to explain to Ahezaah then. Like, well, I thought your name was Allah. My name is Ahezaah today. Go to hell.
The Lord was doing this.
You know? I mean, people want to command Allah because of their own fears. They want to command His word because of their own fears. How do you command Allah? How do you command His word? You change it and do what you want to do to it to make it fit your world, your mind, your likings. Okay, now you have manipulated the truth. Huh? Now you have become a coverer or a breaker of truth. And you present falsehood, broken pieces to people. And then you add what you will into the truth. And then you make it sound all good. People running around here acting like they knew Prophet Muhammad.
Yeah, they do.
Huh?
Yeah, they do.
Like people running around here acting like they know Jesus.
Yeah.
Now, from my experience, I'm one who witnessed the light of truth. I'm one who knows the light of truth. I'm one who has been confirmed in the light of truth. I have met angels. I have seen Muhammad and Abraham and Gabriel and Jesus and Jonah and Job. I've seen them all. And I haven't sat down and conversed with all of them personally, but I've conversed with some. And their word is nothing compared to Ahezaah's. They have basically come to me and said, we praying for you, we all with you in heaven. We celebrate. We're celebrating the day that you will come and you're here. You know? So be firm. Huh? And my father has spoken those same words from the so-called dead world. You know? But none of them is coming to say, hey, I am. Right. No, they say, you are. Now, this is your time. You know? And what will be, will be. Huh? So I tell you, Ahezaah said, it is the leader. You can hate me for saying it, but all it is your own fear that's causing you to hate me for saying it. What reason do I have to say it? What reason do you have to not believe it? You know, why not try it? I point out things that Ahezaah point out for me to point out. And we ask the big questions, the great questions. Why is it that the Muslim world trying to hide the fact that Allah is al-Noon?
Yeah.
Why is it that the Christian world has spent 2,000 years or more trying to avoid saying the name Samuel? Why have they tried to trick the world to say that Jesus is coming back and that Jesus' name is Christ? Yeah. What demon so deep that they fear not the Lord El that will manipulate the word of truth and give it to the world of humanity? It must be the devil, and it must be the jinn, it must be the advocates of the devil and all his dupes. And why is it that I should even seek to trust Muslims who know the word in Arabic,
right,
and now want to bend that themselves and act as though the day of judgment, this day and time Muhammad talked about, is a day after your death? What sense do Allah make to guide us in wisdom for after our death? It guides us in wisdom for our life now. And it lets you know that it is here now. and to prepare for your death, because it will be there then. And you will have to answer for now. When you get there then, which will determine where you're going to go from there. Then. And everybody go to heaven. But there's just a pit stop. That's where Ahezaah set his throne. Used to be in the name of Osiris. Ooh. Yes.
I read that in the Quran recently.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised. That's what I'm talking about. They are telling the people that that's not true. In so many words. They are obliterating the Holy Quran. Even as you read it, they present other books to you for you to read, to be preoccupied in your mind so that you do not pay attention to the Holy Quran. They don't really want to teach you the 5 dialects of Arabic because they don't want you to know. They don't want you to teach you the ancient language of the Egyptians and what have you because they don't want you to know. You think that the language of the hieroglyphics were really lost? And that the Caucasians are such geniuses that they can go and find and figure it out and come up with words and answers? That stuff is over there already. Nobody takes their true history and just throw it away. I got history about my personal family, about members I have never seen and never known personally. But I can feel them from what I've been told. And I know the history of my family. They know the history. And they knew that the Kafirs were people who believed in the truth but had fell off from the truth before them and started worshiping the prophet, the Pharaoh. Just like they want you to worship the president. They want you to worship, the Pope. They want you to worship princes and kings and, people over in Mecca. There's no difference. They've gone astray. Like the Kafirs, who they call covers of truth. They become the covers of the truth now. Just like the Christians became the covers of the truth. The breakers of the truth. They took what the Hebrews had of truth from Moses, which Jesus and John and Joseph and all their people believed in, and then they took it to what the Catholicists was believing, the Romans, and mixed it with their religion because they were the great power. They said, you're going to believe in this, that, and the other. And mixed it. And come up with Christianity 300 years later. And try to make people think that Jesus knew that. When Jesus wasn't a knower of what they talking about. Jesus stood for something else. He's giving us the 1-minute signal.
I thought we had questions out there in the audience, but
hopefully they will come.
The New York audience. But we're gonna keep on this conversation going. Shout out to the New York audience. Continue watching part 2 of this great discussion.
Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you